Mike and Drinda, welcome to our studios here at KINK. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
You had a really big project with Neil Kelly. Can you tell me about it? What was it all about? A big project sounds daunting.
It was a big project. It's a house that we had had since the early 80s, and it was one of those little World War II houses where you walk in and there's lots of small rooms. And over the years, Mike and I had lived in a number of places with more open floor concept, and that's what we decided that we wanted.
And Mike?
I think Drinda's exactly right. The engineering challenges of moving a staircase from what it had been bisecting this house to a more open floor plan, that was probably the biggest deal. And then adding a front porch and expanding the upstairs and punching out the upstairs a bit. So we had 3 significant changes to that one small house.
What had you heard about Neil Kelly as you were approaching your project? You got going in the process of finding a designer.
We had a friend of our son who had worked for them, and we had some informal conversation with him. And we knew the name, of course, and we knew that there was a long-term history. But I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge other than that. And so we were kind of looking for a while.
And I had heard that Neil Kelly was more expensive than some other contractors. And always, if you said your house was a Neil Kelly project, it was kind of like, ooh, that must have cost a lot. So, we knew it was we believed it to be a very good company, but we also had heard it was more expensive.
And you decided to go with Neil Kelly.
So we did a little bit of comparison, and it may have been a little bit more expensive, but the service was much more in depth. We didn't have to worry about subcontracting with a number of folks, and the cost was right on. There were no surprises. Anything extra were things that we chose to do. So that was a great benefit to me and to us.
Well, and actually, as we got started, we did some of those remodel tour home tours, remodeled home tours. We did one in Vancouver and we did one over here in Portland. And one of the people that we saw, and turned out we knew them kind of peripherally, but they had worked with another company, but they told us after it was all said and done that they believed that really Neil Kelly was not more expensive than other companies, because if there were any extra expense, it had to do with the quality of the materials that were used and just the quality of the project. I mean, I just always think our house is so much more than what everybody goes to Home Depot and gets. That's not what is in our house.
Yeah.
It's
And this is like a labor that you want it to be a labor of love. If you could do all those things and move your stairs, you would.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
to have that personal kind of attention to detail is so important, because it's your house.
Well, and
it's your life.
It was a craftsman.
Yeah.
Everybody was a craftsman.
Right.
And they all took tremendous pride in what they were doing.
What a sense of relief.
Yeah, I
mean,
never
really.
felt like it was thrown together. I mean, I would go over there and drop in, and they were going back and they were remeasuring and consulting and talking about how to put these windows in, or are they measured right, or is this counter exactly level, or this and this and this. And we developed some nice friendships out of that.
Like a labor of love on your behalf,
Yeah.
really, is what it sounds like.
That's how it felt.
A lot of
Yeah.
pride. A lot
Yeah.
of pride.
So that process is just about the best it can be. You're not even living in your house at this time, I'm imagining. What corner could you possibly hide in while they're chopping away and creating space?
No, we weren't living there because the house was
Yeah.
completely down to the studs. It was
Right.
completely gutted, and it's basically a new house. So
And the result is?
spectacular. Spectacular, yeah.
Yeah.
We just, every day I walk around it and just think about little things like one of my counters. I went over there every day while it was going on, and so the guy in the kitchen that put everything together, kind of the lead guy on the project after the demo was done, just how do you want this piece of wood? What do you want the pattern? Which way do you want the pattern? And I had never done a remodel or a construction project before, and some of the questions I was just astonished. I was just like, well, so he'd go, it can go this way or it can go this way. And I went, well, I like that. He goes, that's what you're going to get then. And so, I mean, it was so many of those little teeny decisions, but they would ask. And so we have what we want.
So that price point, it's such a delicate thing, you know, when you're going out and looking and you're wondering, well, you know, the expense, the layout, what am I going to do? What am I going to get back? It's worth it.
Well, we worked with Diane Foreman, the woman that designed it for us. We worked with her for a year before we started construction, and it was a lot of, I mean, she worked on that project to keep it with, I mean, every decision we made on our budget, we made fully knowing where we were going. You know, we had a budget, but we wanted more, so we got more. But she worked with us all along the way. And when it got to a point where we really had to back down a little bit, she was wonderful helping us get it and maintain what we wanted, which was just wonderful.
It's a real thoughtful experience all the way through.
Completely.
Thank you, Mike and Drinda, for sharing your Neil Kelly experience with us. It sounds spectacular.
Thank you very much.